Walt Disney. Walter Disney was an entrepreneur, a cartoonist, an animator, voice actor, film producer. He was born December 5th, 1901, in Hermosa, Chicago, Illinois. Walt Disney went to McKinley High School, Chicago Art Institute, and the Kansas City Art Institute and School of Design. His brother, Roy, co-founded Walt Disney Productions. One of 5 children of Elias Disney and Flora Call Disney. In 1911, moved to Kansas City over a developed love for trains. His uncle, Mike Martin, was a train engineer, so developed Walt Disney's love for trains. Disney later worked a summer job with railroad selling snacks and newspapers to travelers. Disney went to McKinley High School and took drawing and photography classes. He was a cartoonist for the school paper and at night took courses at the Chicago Art Institute. At 16, he dropped out to join the military, but was rejected underage. He joined the Red Cross and went to France for a year to drive an ambulance. In 1919, he moved back to Kansas City to pursue a career as newspaper artist. His brother got him a job at Pesman Rubin Art Studio. He met a cartoonist named Ub Urwix, or Ub Urwix. He worked at Kansas City Film Ad Company, based on cutout and animation. Experimenting with camera and hand-drawn cell animation, he decided to open his own animation business. He recruited Fred Harmon, his first employee, from the ad company. He made a deal with Kansas Theater to screen their cartoons, called Laugh-O-Grams. The cartoons became popular, and they were able to get his own studio. The Laugh-O-Grams hired a number of people, including Harmon's brother Hugh and Urwix. The series of 7-minute fairy tales, both live action and animation, called Alice in Cartoonland. In 1923, the studio burdened with debt. They claimed bankruptcy. Disney and his brother Roy pooled their money and moved to Hollywood. Urwix relocated to California. The three began Disney Brothers Studio. First deal with New York's distributor Margaret Winkler distributed Alice cartoons. They invented a character called Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Contracted the shorts at $1,500. In 1925, Disney hired ink and point named Lillian Bounds. They got married later on when they became closer. The creation of Mickey Mouse. A few years later, Winkler and her husband Charles Mintz stolen the rights to Oswald along with Disney's animators except Urwix. Right away, Disney Brothers and their wives and Urwix produced 3 cartoons with Mickey Mouse, silent films, but there was no interest by people. Their third film with music, Walt voiced Disney. There was an instant sensation as this began. In 1929, Disney created Silly Symphonies, featured Mickey's newly created friends, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, and Pluto. Flowers and Trees, first produced in color and to win an Oscar. In 1933, the Three Little Pigs title song, Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf, became a theme for the country in the midst of the Great Depression. December 21st, 1937, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was produced. It was the first full-length animated film appeared in Los Angeles, produced an unimaginable $1.499 million. in spite of the Depression and won 8 Oscars. The next 5 years, Walt Disney Studios did a string of full-length animated films: Pinocchio, 1940, Fantasia, 1940, Dumbo, 1941, and Bambi, 1942. December 1939, new campus for Walt Disney was opened in Burbank. There was a setback in 1941, strike by animators. Many resigned and lost their jobs. Then created Cinderella in 1950, live-action film Treasure Island, 1950, Alice in Wonderland, 1951, Peter Pan, 1953, Lady and the Tramp, 1955, Sleeping Beauty, 1959, 101 Dalmatians, 1961, all more than 100 features produced by the studio. Disney was among the first to use television as an entertainment medium. The Zorro and Davy Crockett series was extremely popular with children and Mickey Mouse Club Mouseketeers. Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color was a popular Sunday night show. This show was used to begin promoting his new theme park. His last major success produced by himself was the motion picture Mary Poppins, 1964. Disneyland. $17 million Disneyland theme park opened July 17, 1955. In Anaheim, California, with actor and future U.S. President Ronald Reagan. The park became known as a place where children and their families could explore, enjoy rides, and meet the Disney characters. In very short time, the park increased its investment tenfold by entertaining tourists from around the world. Disneyland has expanded its rides over time and branched out globally with parks in Tokyo, Paris, and Hong Kong. Shanghai location slated to open in spring of 2016. Sister property California Adventure also opened in 2001. The death of Walt Disney was within a few years of the opening. Disney began plans for a new theme park and experimental prototype Community of Tomorrow in Florida. It was still under construction in 1966 when Disney was diagnosed with lung cancer. He passed away December 15, 1966 at age 65. He was cremated and his ashes interred at Forest Lawn Cemetery in Los Angeles, California. After his brother's death, Roy carried on plans to finish the Florida theme park, which opened 1971 under the name Walt Disney World.